Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of this YouTube channel, and this video is the second part of The Merchant of Venice Act 4 Scene 1. If you haven't watched the first part of this series, don't watch this video now, okay? Please go to the first part of this video and then you can come back to the second part of this video, okay? Because if you watch this video without watching its first part, you will not understand the story. Please go to the first part of the video, but if you haven't watched this first part of this series, okay? So let's begin. This is the second part of the video, The Merchant of Venice Act 4 Scene 1. And the previous scene we have seen Shylock's dialogue. He was logically trying to explain why he wants a pound of flesh from Antonio. He gave so many examples, okay? Now, when Shylock said that, oh, this is my personal choice whether I need a pound of flesh from Antonio or what I will do with the flesh of Antonio. It's my personal choice. You cannot question me, right? And then he gives so many reasons like gapping beaks. People like gapping beaks, and then some people go crazy when they see a poor cat which is harmless, and then some people go helpless. Some people cannot control themselves when they hear the sound of a bagpipe. So he gives so many reasons. So after that, Bassanio is saying, this is no answer, though unfeeling man, to excuse the current of their cruelty. See, this is not answer. Bassanio is saying to Shylock, this is not how you can give the answer, okay? This is not reasonable. You are just unfeeling man. You are a man without feelings. You don't have human feelings. This is not the answer. This is not the proper answer. And you are giving some excuses of your current cruelty. You are showing such a show of cruelty, and you are saying something and you are excusing it. But this is not the correct way to answer. Shylock says, I am not bound to please thee with my answer. See, sudden Shylock gave the response, Bassanio, I'm not here to give you answer, okay? I'm not here to give you answer. I'm not trying to please. I'm not bound. I'm not obliged to get your please, to please you with my answer. And the Bassanio say, do all men kill the things they do not love? Next question, Bassanio is asking Shylock, okay, you said that you're going to kill Antonio because you have such a deep hatred for him. But my question is that, do all men kill things that they don't love? For that, Shylock says, hates any man the thing he would not kill? Then he is repeating the question that I'll ask by Shylock in a different way. Say, is there any man who will not kill the thing who doesn't like, which he doesn't like? So the Bassanio asked to Shylock, is there any man, or do all men kill the things that they don't like? So the Shylock is asking the same question in a different way. Is there any man who does not kill a thing that he does not like? And then Bassanio says, every offense is not a hate at first. He says that every offense, every crime is no need to become a hatred. Every offense is not, to be taken as a crime, to be taken something to be hated in the beginning. Shylock says, what? Wouldst thou have a serpent sting thee twice? See, the previous question you have to understand. Bassanio said, every offense at first time, it is not a hatred. You shouldn't take it as a hatred in every offense when it happens at first time. That's why Shylock is asking, wouldn't thou have a serpent sting thee twice? What about if a snake sting thee twice? See, in previous scenes, we have seen that Shylock says about Antonio, he spat on my royal robe, he called me dog, he ridiculed my friends, he hated my enemies, he laughed at my wounds, and he mocked at my losses. Shylock is asking, if a serpent sting you twice, will you not kill that serpent? Antonio, by the time Antonio is telling to Bassanio, he is saying to Bassanio, I pray means I request you. Think you question with a Jew. I request you, Bassanio, please think that you are trying to reason with a Jewish man. You may as well go stand upon the beach and bite the main flood bait his usual hate. Now here, what is actually the style of the dialogue here is that you have to understand, Bassanio is trying to reason with Shylock. That's why Antonio is telling to Bassanio, I have a request to you that you should remember that you are questioning or you are trying to reason with a Shylock. And then Antonio is giving a list of some impossible tasks. Antonio is trying to give a list of impossible tasks, saying that you can do this impossible task very easily. And trying to get a reason from Shylock, then trying to have a reasoning with Shylock, you can do so many impossible tasks. It means to have a reason with Jew, to have a reason with Shylock, it's quite impossible. He says, you may as well go stand upon the beach and buy the main flood bed his usual hate. You can go to the beach and you can look at the waves, you can look at the waves of the sea that is going such a hate. You can buy the waves to bathe. Bathe means come down. You can ask the wave, to reduce its height. You can go to the seashore and ask the wave to reduce its height. Is it possible, guys? Can you go to the beach and tell the sea to do something, and will the sea obey you? No, that's not at all possible. But Antonio says even that is possible sometimes. But reasoning with Shylock is not possible. Okay, the second impossible task he says that, you can go to a wolf. A wolf is a very wild animal, very rigorous animal. You can go to the wolf and you can question the wolf. You can have a reasoning with the wolf. You can ask the wolf, why did you make the mother sheep cry? Killing its baby, killing the lamb. Why did you make the mother sheep cry? The wolf may respond to you properly. But you cannot expect it from Shylock. You understand how the dialogue goes? And the third impossible task he says that you may as well forbid the mountain's pine to wag their high tops and to make no noise when they are threatened with the gush of the heaven, gush of the heavens. See, guys, this third impossible task Antonio says to Bassanio is that you can go to the mountains. You can go to the great mountains. When you go to the great mountains, you see, what do you see? You see there such a big pine trees. You can ask the pine trees to don't move, stay calm when you are threatened, when you are waved, when you are touched, and when you move with the gust of the wind. Gust of the heaven means the wind. When you are stricken by the wind, wind, don't move. The pine trees may listen to you, but that's not possible from Shylock. You understand? You can do so many impossible tasks, than having a reasoning with Shylock. This is what Antonio wanted to say. Bassanio, you have to remember, I request you to remember that you are questioning a Jew, you are reasoning with a Jew. You can do so many impossible tasks, like you can go to the beach, you can ask the waves to come down, you can ask the wave to bite. Bite means reduce its height. You can go to the wild animal, the wolf, and ask question to the wolf, saying that, wolf, why did you make the mother sheep cry for its lamb? The wolf may respond to you. You can go to the mountains and you can ask the big pine trees to not make noise and don't move when you are stricken by the wind. It may be possible, but it's not possible to have a reason with Shylock. And then he says, you may as well do anything most hard or seek to soften that which in what's hard. See, you may do a lot of things. You can do a lot of things, lot of impossible tasks. Most hard or seek to soften that than the which what's hard, his Jewish heart. You can do anything impossible task than trying to soften something is very hard. What is that? The Jewish heart. The Shylock's heart. You may be able to do so many impossible tasks, but it is not possible to soften a hard heart that belongs to Shylock. And then therefore, I do beseech you. Beseech you means I request you. Therefore, I request you, make no more offers. Please, you don't have to make so many offers. You don't have to have more, reasoning with Shylock. Use no further means, but with all brief and plain convenience, let me have judgment and the Jew his will. Very plainly, let me say you, okay? Very simply, there is no way of reasoning with Shylock. So let me tell you very simply, let me have my judgment, and the Jew his will, and Shylock is his will. What he is willing for, what Shylock wants, let him have it. Okay, I don't want to spend my time unnecessarily questioning and reasoning with the Jew. It's not going to be possible, right? You guys cannot change his mind. So this is my humble request at the last, let me have my judgment. I'm ready. If the Shylock wants his will, that is a pound of flesh from my chest, I'm ready. Let it happen. Okay, this is what Antonio says to Shylock. Now Bassanio says, for thy 3,000 ducats here is 6. Now when Antonio is saying this one, Bassanio has taken a bag, full of money, which is 3,000 ducats, with 6,000 ducats. He gives to Shylock. He's trying to give to Shylock and saying that here is a 6,000 ducats. I have taken only 3,000 ducats from you, but there are 6,000 ducats in this bag. You can take it. Here is 6,000. For thy 3,000 ducats, for your 3,000 ducats, here is 6,000 ducats. I'm giving you the double amount of money. Okay. Now what Shylock is going to say? Shylock says, if every ducat in 6,000 ducats were in 6 parts, and every part a ducat, I would not draw them. I would have my bond. See, 6,000 ducats are offered to Shylock, and still Shylock is saying, even if every ducat is 6,000 ducats, see, you are trying to give me the double amount of money. So there are 6,000 ducats in the bag. If 6,000 ducats, from the 6,000 ducats, every ducat is of 6,000. It means 6,000 into 6,000. If every ducat is going to be 6,000 ducats, when in 6 parts, and they are in 6 parts, and every part a ducat, I would not draw them. I would have my bond. Even if you try to give me this much amount, not the 6,000 ducats, you are going to give me thousands, more time. The money, I don't want. I want my bond. I only need my bond. That's a pound of flesh from Antonio. Now you see the seriousness of this scene, okay? Now Duke says, how shall thou hope mercy, rendering none? Sudden Duke himself is asking to Shylock, how can you, hope for mercy, rendering none? Rendering means giving. When you are not giving mercy to somebody, how can you expect mercy from God? This is the question, okay? There is a, religious conflict also this people here, okay? There is another religious conflict. You have to understand the context. Why? Because for a Jewish man, his karma, his deeds are very important. God will punish him, or God will reward him, or God will, save him according to his karma, according to his deeds. This is what Jewish scripture says. But for the Christians, the salvation is, or the God's mercy is not attained by your karma or deed. It is not. Your salvation, or you are safe. You are saved from God, or you get mercy from God. It's God's mercy. It's not your deed. You understand? This is Christian concept. You get mercy from God. It's not because of your karma. It is mercy of God. The salvation is the mercy of God for you. It is not your deed. So that's why Duke is saying, how shall thou hope for mercy? How can you expect mercy from God when you are not showing mercy to anyone? Then Shylock saying, what judgment shall I dread? You are telling me that I should fear God's mercy. I should ask God's mercy, or I need to be careful about God's judgment. Why? What wrong did I do? Why I need? What judgment shall I dread? Why should I expect God's mercy since I haven't? Why should I expect, why should I fear God's judgment? So far I haven't done anything wrong. Doing no wrong. I did nothing wrong. Then why should I ask for God's mercy? You have among you many a purchased slave. And now Shylock is going into another reasoning, okay? Shylock is trying to define himself, by some logical means, okay? He is giving so many illustrations, okay? One illustration he is saying that, you have among you many purchased slaves, okay? He is looking at the people in the court, including the Duke, and saying, you have among you, there are so many people, you have bought slaves. You have slaves. You bought slaves with money. See, this is a system, okay? This is not practical these times, okay? In those times, you can go to the market and you can buy slaves, give you money. You can, buy slaves from the market. Among you, you have bought so many slaves, which like your asses and your dogs and mules. See, you have bought the slaves and you treat them like your donkeys and dogs. And actually these animals, these domestic animals are used for the work. That's what Shylock wanted to say, okay? You have bought so many slaves and you use them as, your slaves. You use them for your slavery work, and you treat them as mules or donkeys and dogs. And then he says, you use them in slavish parts. You use them in abject means the degrades work. You use the slaves for the degrade works. And you use them for the slavish works because you bought them. And the justification, you can say, the reason you say you bought them, it is your right. You bought slaves with your money and it is your wish, and you can use them how you want. So you bought, among you so many people bought slaves, and you treat them as donkeys and dogs, and then you are using them for the slavish work because you bought them with money. Now shall I say to you, but can I ask you a question? Let them be free, marry them to your heirs. Let me ask you, can you free them? Can you free the slaves whom you bought with the money? Okay, you go back to home and say to the slaves, you are free from now. Or my next question, can you marry them your heirs? Heirs means generation or children. He says, can you give your children to slaves in marriage? Can your children marry a slave? And then he says, why sweat they under burdens? My next question, why They are struggling. Why they have toil, such a toil, and they are, they sweat under their burden. You heavy burden you are giving them. Why is it necessary? Next question. Let their beds be made as soft as yours. And another thing I am asking you. So you are sleeping in such a comfortable bed. But you are sleeping in such a comfortable bed. But what about the slaves? They are sleeping. They may be sleeping on the floor, maybe on a piece of cloth. So let me ask you. Let them also have a soft bed as yours. Such a comfortable, situation like you are enjoying. Let them also enjoy, if I tell you that. And then let their palace means, their appetites. Let their appetites be seasoned with such viands. Such viands means food. Let me tell you, you give them the same food as you are eating. Will you give the same food that you are eating to the slave? If I tell you these things, okay. See, list them one by one. First thing, my first question, you bought the slaves with your money. Will you free them? Second question, will you give your children to the slaves in marriage? Third question, will you not give them overburdens? My fourth question, will you make their beds also as soft as your beds? And my fifth question, will you give the same food that you are eating to the slaves? And what will be your answer? You will answer, the slaves are ours. And you will answer me, the slaves are ours. We bought them with money. So do I answer you, the pound of flesh which I demand of him is dearly bought. This is what. If I ask you these things, you will say, the slaves are ours and we will do with the slaves whatever we like. The same way, if you ask me, Shylock, why you need a pound of flesh from Antonio, I will also answer you, a pound of flesh is mine, which I dearly bought. Which I bought with money. That's mine. And it's my wish how to use it. You understand the logic? And then he says, this mine and I will have it. If you deny me, fair upon your law. This is my justice and I will have it. But if you deny to give me my justice, fair means shameful. It's going to be shameful to your law. Because you are denying my justice. I told you the concept of justice, concept of law there, the law is very biased to the foreign merchants. If you deny to give my justice, it's going to be a shameful part for your law. And then he said, fie upon your law, there is no force in the decrees of Venice. There is no law in Venice can, deny my justice. No force, no law force. There is no law in Venice that can deny my justice. I stand for judgment. Answer, shall I have it? I am standing here for my judgment. I stand here for my judgment. Answer me, shall I have my judgment? Will I be able to have my judgment? I am not standing here for your sympathy. I am standing here for my judgment, my justice. Shall I have it? Now see, the issue became very, very serious in the court. Now Duke himself says, okay, let's see what is Duke's response to that. Duke says, upon my power, I may dismiss this court, unless Bellario, a learned doctor whom I have sent for to determine this, come here today. The Duke himself is not able to take a decision now, okay? He does not know how to react to Shylock's speech, because whatever Shylock spoke is logic, right? You bought slaves with your money and you are doing whatever you want with them. So the same way I bought a flesh from Antonio with my money and I would do whatever I like with it. Now logically, and no law in Venice can save Antonio from Shylock's hand now. Okay, but there is going to be some twist in the story, okay? That we will see further. But now what Duke says, upon my power, I may dismiss this court. See, I'm not giving the judgment now. But using my power, I can do one thing, that I dismiss this court. I am going to adjourn. I am going to stop this court for some time. I am going to dismiss this court for some time. Unless Bellario, a learned doctor whom I have sent for this, determining this. See, Duke has written a letter to his somebody, Bellario, okay, Dr. Bellario. He is a learned doctor. Doctor means he's not a physician, but he's a doctor of law. So he's very clever and very intelligent. Person has much knowledge. That's why the Duke has written a letter to Bellario. So Duke is expecting that Bellario would come determine this case, okay? Because Duke himself is not able to take a decision. That's why Duke says, using my power, I am going to dismiss this court for some time. Still, Dr. Bellario arrived. Let it be the second part of the video. We will continue this explanation in the third part of this video, okay? Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this video was beneficial to you, okay? And if it was beneficial, please give me a like, and if you are very new in this channel, please don't forget to subscribe this channel and refer this YouTube channel to your friends. That's how you can help me. So till we see you next time, bye guys.